Summerween is the 12th episode of Gravity Falls. In it, it's Summerween, a second Halloween during the summer. Mabel's all for this, but Dipper just wants to go party with the teens. Unfortunately, a monster is forcing them to trick-or-treat, or die. Meanwhile, Stan's trying to scare a bunch of kids. Shenanigans ensue. Summerween happens June 22nd, which is the summer equinox. In some places in the world, it's celebrated as St. John's Day. It's also sorta like Halloween because it's association with witches and paganism and all that. I like instead of pumpkins, their jack-o'-lanterns are using watermelons. That's unique. This is the first time we get a good look at Stan's license plate, saying Stanley Mobile. Which is weird, Stanley. I thought his name was Stanford. Dipper doesn't like this made-up town holiday, so he just wants to go hang out with Wendy. A party that's not S&P approved, and no photos better end up online. Accidentally putting a date on the episode because you can upload photos online and not take forever. Not S&P approved means not standards and practices approved, which is basically the censorship board. Originally it was going to say bottles will be spun, and this is one of my favorite bits of Alex vs. Censorship.
Please revise the text on Tambry's flyer. Bottles will be spun. This implies they are playing Spin the Bottle. We don't want to send the wrong message to our audience.
The message is, teenagers like kissing. How on earth is that the wrong message? And it's on a flyer, we don't even show it. You gotta be kidding me here.
S&P is still uncomfortable with this flyer giving the impression that it is a make-out party.
What's a makeout party and where can I find one? Fine. We'll remove the line, bottles will be spun. Please replace with new line, not S&P approved.
Please omit not S&P approved on the party flyer.
I don't see what the problem with this is.
Not S&P approved has been approved by S&P.
Some of the lame candy they have are real lame candy like candied corn, circus peanuts, and wax lips, but they also have sand pop, gelatin product, homework to candy, Count Discount, which might be a reference to Count Chocula, and Mr. Adequate. Mabel outfit check. She has this really nice pale purple and yellow striped sweater. Her and Dipper being siblings and also being twins, so of course her Halloween costumes include being twinning, with him as cats, and then salt and pepper, and then zombies, and this year strawberry and peanut butter, and wearing black cloaks. And then a rare Mabel just wearing a t-shirt and not a sweater, this one being yellow. And then even more rare, Dipper without his hat, and Dipper without his vest jacket thing. Candy's dressed as Candy, Greta's dressed as a witch, Waddles is dressed like a businessman, which may or may not be a reference to Animal Farm. Zeus is dressed like a Mexican wrestler, Uncle Stan's dressed like Grandpa Munster. Stan tries scaring Rambo and the Mummy Kid with Waddles acting like the chestburster from Aliens, but they show on their iPhones a Screamer video, which is something I don't really see a lot these days. They probably do exist, but they were really big in 2012 and 13. It would have been something nice and cute and soothing and unassuming, and then bam, monster! Ah! I remember in school a teacher pranked us with one. What an asshole. The Summerween trickster tells them to trick or treat or die. We first saw him in the intro, so along with Blendon and Gideon, we now have everyone except this dinosaur revealed. And also for some reason he appears more orange in the intro. The trickster is based off of No Face from Spirited Away. He even turns into a giant monster with a big mouth at the end. And he's straight up creepy. Probably the creepiest monster Gravity Falls ever created. With a scarecrow-like design, menacing voice, and of course he eats people. Unlike most monsters of Gravity Falls, there's nothing silly about him until the big reveal at the end where he turns out to be Candy Corn Chan, and how he's the embodiment of all the lame candy that no one wanted. Well, at least Zeus likes him. Also, these rambunctious 90s teens are the same rambunctious 90s teens from the Inconvenience scene, and this is the same bat stab biker from Headhunters. After Grunkle Stan flashes some kids to get some candy and watch a scary old movie to celebrate. And at the end, Mabel and her girlfriends make some memes with Waddles. Yes, kids, this is what memes used to look like back in 2012 and 13. It was a wild time. Our secret code is brought to you by Homework to Candy. It was one of the lame candies from earlier. For some reason, I just imagine it as like a chocolate bar with a little bit of caramel in it. And then like the inside of the wrapper would have like some random question for your homework. Like, who was the 8.5 president of the US? or what's Stan's real name? I love this episode. Dipper growing out of Halloween and just wanting to go hang out with some friends instead of going trick-or-treating with their siblings is something that a lot of kids deal with. The Trickster is probably my favorite creature in Gravity Falls, even after the reveal remains really creepy and tragic. It's the perfect Gravity Falls episode. The episode's funny, it's nostalgic, it's kind of heartwarming, it's scary. I love the aesthetic of it, other than a mystery, I guess. It perfectly encapsulates everything that works and is great about Gravity Falls. If you're going to only watch one episode of Gravity Falls, well, watch the entire show, it's great. But if you only have time to watch one episode, Summerween is your best shot.
I'm so happy.
The crying makes it a little weird, but I guess I'm still eating. What's up, Corny?
I've been traumatized.